The new normal now would be that getting infected at workplaces due to the negligence of an employer would very likely be actionable. Hello and welcome again to Jaded Law Channel. This is that law-based channel where your legal needs are met, where your questions are answered, and of course, your issues are adequately resolved. Again, I remain your host, Mrs. Omango Ogbe. Today, I'll be talking about COVID-19 and the workplace. Now, as government begins to relax restrictions of movement and offices begin to reopen with, of course, employees returning to work, it is very important that every employer should have this at the fore of their minds. It is important that they need to understand that at this time they have two major responsibilities. The first is to contain the spread of the virus, and the second is to do everything within their power, everything within their means to ensure that they prevent or avoid legal actions. Legal actions, yes, you heard me, legal actions. Now, injuries at workplaces are actionable. I hope you remember that the new normal now would be that getting infected at workplaces due to the negligence of an employer would very likely be actionable. The employees can allege that the employers did not do what they ought to have done, or that they did not provide what they ought to have provided, and so they got infected. And if they can prove same in the court of law, boom, the employers would be held liable. And the reason for this is very, very simple. It is the statutory duty of every employer to provide a safe work environment for his employees. Also, the employer has a general duty to ensure safety of its customers, its clients, and every person accessing the workplace. So, to avoid being sued for negligence, which simply means you owe your staff a duty of care, that you breached that duty, and so they suffer damages, and they can claim so much, they can claim reliefs for pain and suffering. The list is endless. To ensure that you avoid situations of that nature, it is very important that employers, as we resume work, should do the following. So, number one, provision of face masks where necessary, also provision of soap, running water, and where this is impossible or impracticable, adequate provision of alcohol-based hand sanitizers, also digital thermometers to take temperature readings of your staff and every person accessing the workplace is of utmost importance. This is so vital and so important. Now, for banks and large organizations, employers, please ensure that you have a system where your staff are made to run shifts. Okay? Ensure that they do not all gather at the same time or come to work at the same time. And in doing that, they would be able to comply with the social distancing directive and also the directive as to the gathering of large number of persons. Okay, so you ensure that the social distancing directive and the gathering of large number of persons are not violated. Now, employers, please ensure that your offices are constantly, regularly, properly disinfected. Ensure the regular cleaning of surfaces, doorknobs, work tables. Every work area should be properly, adequately, regularly, sufficiently disinfected. This is vital to avoid the spread of the virus. Employers to educate their staff or to get health practitioners where necessary to do so on the symptoms. Now, employers, do not take for granted or do not assume that your employees know the symptoms of the virus. So please ensure that you have them educated properly, and also let them know and understand they need to call in and not attend work whenever they feel unwell or whenever they feel sick. This is very, very important. Okay? Employers, avoid physical meetings and avoid sending employees to attend meetings where same is not necessary. Okay, I know the importance of meetings to organizations, but at the time we're in, we must encourage virtual meetings. Okay, this is so important for the safety of your staff and also for your safety. Encourage employees who can work from home to do so. Just put in place structures where they can work from home. All right. Now, it is important also to identify high risk targets of the virus. And these are elderly people and those with underlying health issues. Ensure that, if possible, these ones work from home, as this would help to minimize them being infected with the virus. Have a staff who I would call a COVID-19 compliance or enforcement officer who would ensure compliance of everything that we have said. It is very important that somebody would keep an eye and ensure that everything that has just been stated is adequately carried out. Okay? For employees who feel unwell, encourage them to self-isolate if they notice or observe any of the symptoms. They should not begin to have the fear that they would lose their jobs or that they would be stigmatized because they called in. So please give them that reassurance and encouragement that they should self-isolate if any symptom is noticed or observed. Now, finally, whereas in law firms or companies, service of documents are vital, please request, where appropriate, service of soft copies, and find means, if you must, accept the hard copies to ensure that those hard copies are adequately quarantined before use. I am sure that if employers can put these things together, put these things in place, that the workplace will definitely be a safe workplace for both you and your employees. I hope you've learned something today. Again, ignorance of the law is no excuse. I would like you to subscribe to this channel and get your friends, loved ones, neighbors to do the same thing. We really have tons of good content for you, and I'm sure you do not want to miss them. Okay, so I would see you next week. But please be safe and stay blessed. See you. Bye.